Brilliance Audio presents Summer Nights by Jill Sanders, performed by Lori West. Zoey held her sister's hand more tightly as they walked across the large wooden bridge, walking toward the place they would be spending the next month, alone, in the sweltering heat of the swamplands in Florida. Sure, their father had driven for over 5 hours to bring them to the gates of the camp, but upon seeing the mass of young girls and parents inside the large iron gates, he'd come up with an excuse about needing to get home again, and had practically shoved them out of the car. Since she was the older of the two, by 20 months, it fell on her shoulders to make sure they were both checked in to the summer camp. "Aren't you even going to wave goodbye to Dad?" Her sister Scarlett nudged her. Zoey's chin rose before she answered, "No." She tugged on her hand so Scar, as she liked to call her, would stay in step with her as she shifted the heavy backpack on her shoulder. What her little sister didn't know was that Zoey had overheard their parents talking last night. Not only was their father having an affair, but he'd confessed that he was in love with someone named Bridget. Zoey's 11-year-old blood boiled at the thought of their father betraying their soft-spoken mother in such a way. Also, Bridget? Blech. Why? Scar tugged on her hand, breaking Zoey out of the dark thoughts. Her sister was still at the age where she had to know everything. Zoey joked that Y should have been her middle name. Scarlett Y. Rowlett. Because. She rolled her eyes as they moved down the neat gravel path that took them toward the main building of River Camp, the exclusive summer camp for young girls from elite families. Their mother had sprung it on Zoey and Scarlett during the last week of school that they had been accepted to attend River Camp, which both of the sisters had loudly complained about until the very moment their father had dropped them off at the gates of the large facility. "Why?" Scar's voice turned to a whine. Zoey silenced her by tugging on her hand again. "Don't be a baby," she hissed. "People are watching." She nodded to all the other girls around their age. River Camp delights young women ages 8 to 12 via hiking, swimming, paddleboarding, yachting, gymnastics, ballet, and equestrian activities. Or so the brochure her mother had given her said. But Zoey knew what this really was. This was a prison for her and Scar while their parents tried to work on salvaging their marriage. But really, what would happen was their father would promise to change, as he always did, and then once things died down, he would return to his old ways. Bridget was not the first. Sneaking around on his family while tearing down their mother and making her believe it was all her fault was his MO. As she looked toward the open field, Zoey spotted the line they were supposed to be in and started across the grassy field. They stopped behind a tall blonde girl in cut-off shorts and a light brown tank top with worn tennis shoes. Zoey tossed her bag down in the dirt. "Listen," she whispered, turning to give her sister a shake. "Dad and Mom shoved us in this camp for one reason, to get rid of us this summer. So let's try to look at this as a vacation." Her eyes narrowed. "Even if it's nothing more than a prison." Scar shrugged and raised her chin, much like Zoey had done less than a minute ago. "Whatever," she smiled brightly. Zoey wished she had the same way to turn off depression Scarlett had. Her sister was an abundance of joy and cheerfulness most of the time. When she wasn't asking questions, at least. Unlike herself. Maybe it was because Scar hadn't hit puberty yet? Zoey watched as her sister's dark eyes traveled behind her. "Hi!" Scar's smile grew bigger. When Zoey jerked around, she almost bumped into the tall blonde girl, who was now smiling back at them. "Hi." The girl looked between them. "Sisters, right?" They both nodded. "I'm Scar," Scarlett waved. The blonde girl's eyebrows shot up. "Scar?" "She's Scarlett," Zoey corrected. "I'm Zoey."